The F-35 was already the most advanced fighter in the world, a machine feared by every adversary. But the massive upgrades arriving now under the Block 4 modernization program have pushed it into another category entirely. This is not just an airplane, this is a global command platform. What once defined fifth-generation combat is now being completely rewritten around this aircraft and its new power. These changes are not small fixes or minor adjustments. They change the whole logic of how air power works. They take the F-35 from a stealthy multi-role fighter to a digital hunter that sees farther, thinks faster, and strikes from distances once reserved only for heavy, lumbering bombers. The message is simple and clear for all who would challenge US and Allied air superiority. If you can see the F-35, you have already lost the fight, and your weakness has been exposed. The entire transformation begins with a brutal, massive leap in computing power, the jet's true core and brain. The new Tech Refresh 3, or TR3, system gives the aircraft 25 times more computing power than it had before. This is not a slight speed boost that an adversary might overcome. This is a digital revolution in processing. This speed changes everything, removing hesitation from the cockpit and replacing it with instant, decisive precision. Processing that used to take moments, giving the enemy a tiny window to react, now happens instantly, with no delay. This sudden speed eliminates the chaos of the battlefield and replaces it with absolute clarity, giving the pilot silence in their mind even during the most complex, high-pressure missions. This raw, computational edge ensures that the F-35 does not just keep up with modern warfare, it stays decisively ahead of it. The jet no longer asks the pilot to manage scattered systems while fighting. It stays perfectly balanced and controlled, no matter how complex the threat picture becomes. This raw power is the foundation for the jet's total dominance, finally crushing all issues like sensor lag that old critics once pointed to as weakness. This is the definition of efficiency, replacing the old need for compromise. This new power core, the TR3, handles data overload effortlessly. While an adversary's defense system might freeze, trying to track hundreds of incoming signals, the F-35's brain sorts, classifies, and dismisses the false information instantly. This is the truth of scarcity overload in action. The enemy drowns in noise, while the US jet operates with perfect silence and focus. Every threat is analyzed in milliseconds. Every enemy move is predicted before it is even finished. This computational advantage humiliates enemy operators, leaving them paralyzed in their bunkers, watching their screens flash with noise they cannot understand. They face total chaos. The US pilot enjoys total command. This clarity is an intermittent reward, a small win that proves the dominance of the system long before the weapons are fired. The enemy is already beaten by the clock and the code.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The power of the TR3 system brings forth a new level of perfect awareness, transforming the F-35 into a system that can see and process everything in the battle space. The new AN/APG-85 radar replaces the older system with one that is faster, sharper, and far more resistant to the enemy's desperate attempts at electronic interference. This radar does not just detect distant objects, it prioritizes them, sorts them by threat level, and shares that critical information instantly with every other friendly platform. This radar is an intelligence engine, feeding constant, perfect data, streams into the F-35's central processor. It sees through the enemy's clumsy electronic smoke and finds the real targets, exposing their true locations. This powerful radar is coupled with other systems that ensure zero blind spots. The upgraded electro-optical targeting system, the AEOTS, and the distributed aperture system, or DAS, work together in flawless harmony. The DAS uses 6 sensitive infrared cameras mounted around the aircraft to feed a continuous, seamless, 360-degree picture, into the pilot's helmet. This system removes all blind spots completely. Day or night, through clouds or smoke, nothing stops its vision. Every object in its massive range is identified, classified, and logged in seconds. An adversary fighter that tries to sneak in behind the F-35 is seen instantly. Its exact course and speed logged and shared. This is a total picture that leaves the enemy with no hiding place. This is the miracle of modern sensor fusion, the ultimate exposure of adversary weakness. The F-35 does not show the pilot scattered, confusing radar returns or separate camera feeds. Instead, the TR-3 core fuses every piece of data from every single onboard sensor, from allied aircraft and even from satellites, into one consistent, living, and true picture. The pilot sees a single, unified tactical reality where threats are already prioritized, clearly color-coded, and tracked automatically. The system filters out all the electronic noise, predicts the enemy's next movement, and updates target positions faster than any human mind can react. The pilot no longer has to search for targets because the aircraft already knows exactly where they are and precisely what they are doing. This total clarity is the ultimate power, replacing enemy hope with absolute certainty of defeat. The pilot experiences situational awareness not as a struggle, but as a single, overwhelming truth. They see enemy threats long before any traditional radar warning can even sound. The jet anticipates the pilot's needs and suggests the perfect missile loadout, chosen specifically for the type of threat. This total machine control allows the pilot to focus solely on decisive tactics and seamless coordination, free from the old, clumsy mental juggling required by previous generation jets. The pilot becomes the calm, detached commander of this digital evolution, watching the enemy's futile movements play out below. But even perfect vision is useless without perfect protection. The F-35's stealth has also evolved drastically, moving from a delicate science to an unbreakable shield. The next-gen 2.0 OML coating program introduced new materials that are tougher, far more heat-resistant, and much easier to maintain. Previous stealth coatings were fragile, requiring delicate care and constant time-consuming repair. A small chip or scratch could immediately ruin the entire radar signature. The new skin, however, solves that problem decisively. This new coating shrugs off corrosion, easily resists the high heat generated during extreme speed flight, and reflects radar energy even when subjected to the stress of hard maneuvering. This increased durability means the F-35 spends less time in the hangar being fixed and more time ready for combat patrol, a routine demonstration of dominance or rituality.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
Adversaries still foolishly relying on radar-guided interception find their complex, multi-layered defense networks failing because they cannot track what they cannot see. Every improvement compounds the aircraft's ability to survive and persist, allowing it to operate comfortably inside zones previously thought impossible to breach. The tough skin that hides the F-35 also protects it from damage, ensuring the pilot can return safely. This resilience is the relief loop in action. Tension builds as the jet enters the dangerous zone, but the upgraded stealth provides the relief of invisibility, only to face the new challenge of the attack run. Underneath that tough armor lies an upgraded electronic warfare suite, a weapon that turns the F-35 into both an unseen hunter and an invincible shield. This system instantly detects hostile radars before they can even attempt to lock on. It then immediately jams them with carefully tailored electronic pulses, or feeds them completely false echoes that redirect enemy weapons toward empty sky. This is not just clumsy evasion. It is absolute dominance through calculated deception. The enemy is not just avoided, they are systematically mocked. At the same time, this suite protects Allied aircraft by instantly sharing the precise jamming profile through the network, creating an invisible, protective shield across the entire formation. This sophisticated suite does not just counter threats, it rewrites their rules. Enemy radars that try to adapt by switching frequencies are immediately counter-adapted. Missiles that switch guidance modes find themselves chasing electronic ghosts until they break guidance and fall harmlessly to the ground. A total humiliation for the enemy crews. This forces enemy operators into a maddening, impossible chase, forcing them to pursue dozens of false targets across multiple frequencies until the real jet is long gone, or has already fired its weapons. The result is an aircraft that completely dominates the electronic domain, ensuring that the US and its allies control not just the sky, but the entire invisible spectrum beneath it. The scale of this electronic superiority is a clear escalation novelty. The fight is no longer about speed and altitude, but about control of the electromagnetic environment. The enemy is always a step behind. Perfect dominance demands perfect lethality. The most aggressive leap in the Block 4 program comes directly from weapon integration, increasing the jet's strike range dramatically. For the first time, the F-35 can carry the AGM-158 family of cruise missiles. This includes the new extended range variant that can hit hardened targets up to 1,000 miles away. That extreme range changes the entire game. It means the jet can precisely destroy high-value targets, like enemy command centers, protected air defenses, and strategic infrastructure, deep inside heavily defended territory without the F-35 ever needing to enter the enemy's immediate kill zone. The long-range strike mission, once handled only by heavy, less stealthy bombers, now belongs to the invisible stealth fighter. This transforms the aircraft from a frontline participant into an unassailable strategic tool, capable of shaping wars before they even fully begin. The safe standoff distance gives pilots extreme confidence and gives commanders unmatched flexibility, leaving adversaries with absolutely no safe retreat and constant sleepless nights. The launch of such a missile from an unseen position is the perfect dopamine anticipation loop. The target installation, perhaps an enemy radar site or command bunker, thinks it is safe, relying on layers of defensive systems. The F-35 pilot, hundreds of miles away, confirms the final targeting data provided by the perfect sensor fusion. The missile is released. For a long moment, the enemy is unaware that their fate is already sealed and rushing toward them, invisible and unstoppable. Their own sensors are completely neutralized by the F-35's EW suite. Then, the missile impacts, eliminating the target from a distance that ensures the F-35 pilot is already on the way home. The enemy command is humiliated. Their layered defense is proving to be nothing more than expensive targets. Just as shocking as the new cruise missile range is the new six-in-the-bay capability. Until now, stealth fighters carried only 4 air-to-air missiles internally to maintain their radar invisibility. Carrying any more missiles meant attaching external pylons to the wings, which immediately ruined stealth and drastically reduced flight range. This was a necessary compromise, a small weakness that the enemy hoped to exploit. Block 4 engineers crushed that hope. They completely redesigned the internal weapons bays, finding a way to fit 6 missiles inside without needing to enlarge the aircraft's size or change its radar signature. 2 extra shots may sound small, but in the brutal reality of aerial combat, that difference often decides survival and victory. It means the F-35 can engage more enemies per mission, maintain perfect, total stealth, and still easily clear the battlefield. It is the decisive difference between staying hidden and becoming an easy, visible target. 6 missiles mean 6 chances to clear the sky before the enemy ever sees a flash of light. This upgrade pushes the fighter's combat rhythm to a level unmatched by any competitor on the planet. This small, crucial engineering detail averted a potential near-miss scenario where the pilot might have been forced to leave an enemy fighter unchecked due to a lack of internal ordnance. That potential weakness has been fully negated, asserting US dominance over the rules of engagement. These multiple, decisive capabilities all converge into a new and frightening identity for the fighter: The F-35 was once merely the centerpiece of fifth-generation warfare. Block 4 immediately makes it the first aircraft built specifically for the multi-domain fight. It is the ultimate connector. It links air, sea, space, and cyber operations through secure, uncrackable data links. It can relay crucial satellite intelligence to ground forces, call in precise naval strikes from ships far over the horizon, or guide sophisticated unmanned drones hundreds of miles away, all while remaining completely invisible to enemy radar. This massive networked intelligence gives U.S. commanders real-time, perfect awareness of the entire battle space, moment by moment. The F-35 does not just execute missions, it flawlessly orchestrates them. The Air Force refers to it as the quarterback aircraft, directing the entire play across all domains simultaneously. Navy commanders describe it as the eyes of the fleet that see every single move the adversary attempts to make. This is not exaggeration. It is the structural reality of modern, digitized warfare. When this ultimate fighter is paired with its loyal, unmanned wingmen, it transforms into an entire, unbreakable formation controlled by a single pilot. The F-35 system instantly assigns each drone its necessary function. One flies high to jam the enemy radar aggressively, another sweeps low to relay crucial targeting data, and a third positions itself for a coordinated strike. If any asset is lost, the system instantly and calmly reallocates the remaining roles. There is no panic, no loss of control, no confusion. The F-35's advanced battle management system coordinates everything in milliseconds. The pilot does not have to micromanage every detail. They simply approve the system's pre-calculated suggestions. This perfect, terrifying blend of human creativity and machine precision completely redefines what command means in modern combat, proving the superiority of the U.S. approach. This mastery over the battle space means that the F-35 is no longer fighting isolated duels against single enemy planes. Pilots now fight with the full weight of an entire information ecosystem behind them. The system's intelligence ensures that by the time the pilot fires a weapon, the outcome is already decided. The classic term, first look, first shot, first kill, has become more than simple doctrine. It is predictable, repeatable science. Every engagement begins from a position of total, irrefutable advantage. The pilot no longer has to guess about the enemy's intent. He simply confirms the machine's perfect analysis. Every calculation has already been made, and every variable is known and accounted for. The target's defenses are neutralized and exposed before the pilot even pulls the trigger. The shot that follows is simply the final conclusion of a process that began the very moment the F-35 entered the battle space. It is not reaction. It is the cold, hard certainty of inevitability. This is the ultimate expression of the tribal male-male dynamics. The U.S. fighter is dominant, and the adversary is humiliatingly exposed as weak and slow. Strategically, these profound changes alter how every nation must think about air dominance. The extreme extended-range missiles and the greatly increased internal payload mean far fewer dangerous sorties are needed to achieve far more significant strategic results. The faster computer core, the TR-3, enables complex coalition warfare across different military services and different allied countries, synchronizing operations through secure, shared data networks. Allies operating F-35s, a growing network spanning NATO and the Pacific, can now fight as one distributed, unstoppable air force. Information from one jet instantly becomes perfect knowledge for all. That global link transforms deterrence. It is not just the physical presence of F-35s that matters, it is their collective, networked awareness that proves the decisive factor. This is the rituality of global command. Routine, synchronized patrols that demonstrate a decisive, inescapable control over the airspace. For adversaries, this sudden, powerful modernization closes every potential gap and ruthlessly exposes every single weakness they tried to hide. The 1,000-mile missile range negates any advantage they thought they had in geographical distance. The new, tougher stealth coatings immediately nullify any radar or sensor breakthrough they may possess. And The raw computing power of the TR-3 core, coupled with the AN/APG-85 radar, completely erases any hope the enemy had for the element of surprise. This forces other nations to build defensive systems not with the realistic goal to win a fight, but only to survive a few more minutes. The speed of decision, not the speed of flight, becomes the truly decisive factor. That is the cruel reality of Block 4. It fights and wins wars in milliseconds, while the enemy systems struggle to load the basic data. The F-35's total and unquestionable dominance has already reshaped military priorities across the globe. Instead of being a mere support platform, the F-35 has become the central, unstoppable hub around which all air operations revolve. Older legacy platforms are now optimized to complement, not compete with, the F-35. This creates a growing, unbridgeable strategic gap. While potential adversaries frantically rush to develop new, expensive counter-stealth systems or advanced radar arrays, the F-35 evolves faster than those threats can ever mature. Its open architecture design means new sensors, new weapons, and crucial software updates can be integrated rapidly and continuously. This constant, relentless adaptability ensures that the jet's dominance is not temporary or fragile. It is permanent and structurally sustained. This commitment to continuous advancement is the ultimate identity binding, aligning the audience with the competence, order, and advanced planning that define the U.S. and its allies. America's strategic approach to modernization through the F-35 program is deterrence through relentless evolution, not simple escalation. The fighter becomes a living, growing system that never stagnates or grows old. The faster it evolves, the more predictable adversaries become in their hesitation, their confusion, and their doomed attempts to catch up. Over a dozen allied nations already operate or will soon operate the jet, creating a distributed, unbreakable deterrence web stretching from the icy borders of Norway to the warm shores of Australia. When one ally trains, all improve their skills. When one upgrades, all benefit instantly from the new capability. This collective, unstoppable momentum is the real force multiplier behind America's strategy. Across both the Atlantic and the Pacific, the strategic message remains identical and firm. The era of contested air dominance is not ending. It is being aggressively and decisively reinforced with technology the enemy cannot match. The story of these brutal upgrades is one of technological inevitability. Technology always races ahead, and the Block 4 F-35 is what happens when an aircraft finally catches up to the future, realizing its full potential. It ruthlessly fuses stealth, computing power, and strategic weaponry into one coherent, absolute idea. That total control of information equals total, guaranteed control of the war. The F-35 now embodies that idea completely and fully. Its true power is not just in the missiles it physically carries, but in the overwhelming perfect knowledge it possesses, and in how ruthlessly and quickly it uses that knowledge to humiliate its foes. The upgraded F-35 does not just close the chapter on fifth-generation parity, it opens the era of total, unchallengeable air and information superiority. Its Block 4 and TR-3 systems mark the point where evolution becomes revolution, where air combat shifts from the old art of dangerous flight to the modern science of perfect command. And as that transformation spreads across allied fleets, one strategic truth becomes impossible for any adversary to ignore. The future of aerial warfare no longer belongs to whoever tries to build the most planes, but to whoever connects them and commands them best. The F-35 is the final confirmation of U.S. and allied technological dominance. The feeling is less like piloting a machine and more like entering a state of absolute, perfect flow. The aircraft reacts with such precision and foresight that it feels almost intuitive, a conscious extension of the pilot's will. Veterans describe it as flying inside the future. That sensation captures what this upgrade truly represents: The decisive moment when technology stops being a simple tool and becomes an absolute, seamless extension of thought. For those who once dreamed of air dominance, this is it. Realized, measurable, and fully operational. The upgraded F-35 is a continuous commitment, a cliffhanger, our open cycle that promises new weapons and systems are always on the way, ensuring the gap only widens. The strategic landscape is now settled. The era of parity is over. The era of decisive, overwhelming dominance has begun. What you've seen is only the beginning. America's power is just getting started. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll watch US jets and technology strike even harder.